friends, welcome on my channel Charming Science. Today we are going to talk about a bone, metacarpal. So the metacarpal bone are the bones that are present in our upper extremity. They are having a 5 counts. There are the 5 long bones located in the palm of the hand. They are numbered from 1 to 5. That is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The first one is the thumb that slides toward the lateral side of the hand, and the little finger, that is the medial fifth metacarpal bone that lies toward the medial side of the hand. Each metacarpal has a base, that is the proximal part. There is having a shaft, that's called a middle part, and the head, that's in the distal part, contributing to the complex structure and movement of the hand. So when we talk about the anatomy of the metacarpal bone, we will find that it's having a three landmarks, that is the base, shaft and head. The base lies at the proximal end, and this is the part that articulates with the carpal bones of the wrist to form the carpometacarpal or the CMC joint. The shaft, the long central part of the bone, cylindrical and slightly concave on palmar surface, tapering toward the head. The head, that is lies in the distal end. This part form the metacarpophalangeal joint with the proximal phalanges of the finger constituting the knuckles. Each metacarpal has a specific features depending on its location, and these bones serve as the attachment points for muscles, tendons and ligaments that enables the hand's diverse movement. So when we talk about the first metacarpal bone that lies toward the lateral side of our hand, of the this metacarpal is of the thumb. So when we talk about its shape, the shape is shorter and thicker than the other metacarpals, and also allowing for increased mobility. The articulation, the base articulate with the trapezium bone at the base and forming a saddle joint. That is the first carpometacarpal joint is a saddle type joint. This joint allows a wide range of movement including opposition, flexion extension, abduction and adduction. The head, the head articulates with the proximal phalanx of the thumb, forming the first metacarpophalangeal joint. When we talk about the muscle attachment on it, the abductor pollicis longus attached to the base of the first metacarpal and help in abducting and extending the thumb. The opponent's pollicis muscle, it insert along the lateral side of the first metacarpal, enabling opposition movement of the thumb. The flexor pollicis brevis attached to the base of the proximal phalanx of thumb and flexes the thumb. The first dorsal interosseous muscle attached to the lateral aspect of the first metacarpal and help in abduction and stabilization of thumb. When we talk about the ligaments attachment on it, the radial collateral ligament, ulnar collateral ligaments are present on it. The radial collateral ligament, also known as the lateral collateral ligament, it provides lateral stability to the first metacarpophalangeal joint, and the ulnar collateral ligament, or we say the medial collateral ligament, it stabilizes the MCP joints and preventing excessive sideward movements. There's having a unique feature of the first metacarpal is that they form the saddle type of joint by the base of the first metacarpal and the trapezium among all CMC or the carpometacarpal joints, and it also provide a high degree due to the type of having saddle joint. It also provide a high degree of mobility, particularly for oppositions, which is essential for grasping the objects. When we talk about the second metacarpal bone, that is of the index finger, then we will find that the second metacarpal has the longest shaft and the largest base. The latter is grooved in a dorsopalmar direction for articulation with the trapezoid. Medial to the groove, a deep ridge articulates with the capitate, and laterally nearer the dorsal surface of the base, there is a quadrilateral facet for articulation with the trapezium. And just dorsal to the facet, a rough impression marks the attachment of extensor carpi radialis longus, and a small tubercle or ridge receive flexor carpi radialis on the palmar surface. So in short, if we talk about it, the shape, the index finger or the second metacarpal bone, it's having the longest metacarpal bone with a straightening shaft. It articulates with the base articulate with the trapezoid bone and also form a very minor articulation with the trapezium and capitate bone. The head articulate with the proximal phalanx of the index finger at the second metacarpophalangeal joint. When we talk about the muscle attachment, the extensor carpi radialis longus attached to the base of the second metacarpal and help in extending and abducting the wrist. The first palmar interosseous muscle, it insert on the ulnar side of the second metacarpal and responsible for adducting the index finger toward the midline. The second dorsal interosseous muscles attach to the radial side of the second metacarpal and help in abducting the index fingers. There are the two ligaments present on it. The one is the dorsal carpometacarpal ligament and the another one is the deep transverse metacarpal ligament. The dorsal carpometacarpal ligament provides stability by connecting the base of the second metacarpal to the trapezoid and capitate bone, and the deep transverse metacarpal ligament connect the second and third metacarpal head, stabilizing the distal end of the metacarpal joint. It's having the unique feature that the second metacarpal is the longest and the strongest of the metacarpal, it allowing the significant movements and control of the index finger, which play a crucial role in the precision grip of the pointing actions. When we talk about the third metacarpal bone, that is of the middle finger, the third metacarpal has a short styloid process. So whenever we take the or see the third metacarpal bone of the middle finger, we will find that it's having a slightly shorter than the second metacarpal, but we distinguish by only it's having a styloid process at base. It's only the metacarpal it's having a styloid process at the base. When we talk about its articulation, the base articulate primarily with the capitate bone and the head articulate with the proximal phalanx of the middle finger or the third metacarpophalangeal joint. The muscle attachment on it, the extensor carpi radialis brevis attached to the base of the third metacarpal and extending the and abducting the wrist. The abductor pollicis, the transverse head of the abductor pollicis, originate from the shaft of the third metacarpal and is responsible for adducting the second and the third dorsal interosseous muscle attached to both sides of the third metacarpal, aiding in the abduction of the middle finger. The ligaments, styloid process ligament, a ligament that attaches to the styloid process at the base of the third metacarpal and providing stability in its articulation with the capitate bone. Dorsal and palmar carpometacarpal ligament, it stabilizes the articulation between the third metacarpal and the carpal bones. The unique feature of the third metacarpal or the middle finger metacarpal is that they having the styloid process at the base of the third metacarpal, and it provides a unique attachment of the ligament and adding a strengthening of the central hand and provide a better structure and a function. The third metacarpal is considered the axis of the hand, with both abduction and adduction movement occurring around this bone. Now we will talk about the fourth metacarpal bone, that is our ring finger. So the fourth metacarpal is a shorter and the thinner than the second and the third metacarpal. When we talk about its shape, it's a shorter and more slender than the second and third metacarpal. It articulates primarily with the hamate on base and has a minor articulation with the capitate bone. The head articulates with the phalanx of the ring finger, that is the fourth metacarpophalangeal joint. Muscle attachment. The fourth dorsal interosseous muscle insert on the ulnar side of the fourth metacarpal and helping to abduct the ring finger. Third palmar interosseous muscle insert on the radial side, adducting the ring finger toward the middle finger. There is having a ligament attachment on it. The ligament are the dorsal carpometacarpal ligament and the deep transverse metacarpal ligament. The dorsal carpometacarpal ligament stabilizes the connection between the base of the fourth metacarpal and the hamate bone. The deep transverse metacarpal ligament connect the fourth and the fifth metacarpal heads, providing the stability at the distal MCP joints. The unique feature of the fourth or the ring finger metacarpal, it's having a important role in hands cupping motion. Cupping motion is the motion in which we are trying to pick a cup or grasp something, which allow the hand to mold around object for gripping and holdings. The fifth metacarpal, the little finger metacarpals. The shape of the fifth metacarpal bone is the shortest and the most mobile metacarpal with a noticeable curve in its structure. Its base articulation with the hamate bone form a relatively mobile joint compared to other metacarpals. The head articulate with the proximal phalanx of the little finger, that is make the fifth metacarpophalangeal joint. The muscle attachment, the opponent's disti minimi, abductor disti minimi, flexor carpi ulnaris is a major muscle which attach on it. The opponent's disti minimi insert along the lateral surface of the first metacarpal and it allow for cupping and flexion of the little finger. The adductor disti minimi extend to the proximal phalanx of the little finger and help in abducting it. The flexor carpi ulnaris insert into the base of the fifth metacarpal and assisting in wrist flexion and adduction. There are the two ligaments that attach on the fifth metacarpal is the pisiometacarpal ligament. It extends from the pisiform bone to the base of the first metacarpal and stabilize the carpometacarpal joints. The another one is the deep transverse metacarpal ligament, which connect the fifth and fourth metacarpal head and contributing to stability at the MCP joint. It's having the unique feature that this provide the mobility of the fifth metacarpal, particularly its articulation with the hamate, allow for the significant movement in the little finger and also play an important role in making a cupping motion of the hand, which increase its versatility for gripping and holding action. So now we will see that the metacarpals attached with bone, which bone? So when we see the first metacarpal bone, we will find that it attached with the its base attached with the trapezium bone. When we see the second metacarpal bone, we will find that its base attached with the trapezoid bone, and it's also having a very minor articulation with the trapezium and capitate. When we see the third metacarpal or the ring finger metacarpal, we will find that it's articulate only with the capitate bone. When we see the fourth metacarpal bone, we will find that it articulates with the hamate and also having a minor articulation with the capitate bone. The fifth metacarpal bone or the little finger metacarpal, it articulates with the hamate bone and forming a joint with that from their base. The nerve supply and the blood supply on it. The nerve supply, the median, ulnar and radial nerve provide both motor and sensory innervation to the metacarpal region. The blood supply is provided by the radial and ulnar arteries, give rise to the dorsal and palmar metacarpal arteries which supply the bone and surrounding structures. The deep palmar arch contribute to the blood supply as well. So in summary, the metacarpal serve as the foundation of the hand's structure and connecting the fingers to the wrist. The complex network of muscles and ligaments attached to the metacarpal facilitate fine motor skills such as gripping, pinching, and manipulating objects. Each metacarpal has distinct features that contribute to its function, whether the thumb's opposability, the strength and precision of the index finger, or the mobility of the later finger. That's all for the metacarpal bones of the upper extremity. Thanks for watching my video. Please like, subscribe and share my channel Charming Science. Thank you.